Is when and how did you meet T Rob?
All right, when and how did I meet T. Rob? I met T. Rob, I say around back in 1989, and how I met him was I was DJing for an artist, Daniel, and we had dancers, and then the dancers had actually brought T. Rob and Tez Tiny Day to our situation for Daniel to have some background singers, and they were called the Fellas at the time, and that's how I met T. Rob. We all got together at that point.
When did you know T Rob was into the whole music thing?
Well, I found out when actually when, like I was saying before, when him and Tez had started to sing for Daniel. Chris, one of the singers in the group, he brought Tiny Day, which is Tez and T. Rob, to me and Daniel, and then Daniel said, "Well, I'm gonna use these guys as my background singers." And then we had Chris, Shane, and DJ was the dancers.
Tell us about the small tri-state tour that the guys opened up for, the major rap artists that they opened up for.
Well, we had went on the road, and we were doing shows in different little clubs and stuff like that. You know, and then we had did some things to open up for Kumo D. That was like one of the first shows we started doing things with.
Tell me about the access backstage during those days. Who created it?
Well, basically I did. Um, I used to go on the road with a bunch of different artists and stuff like that, and I would take some artists with me, and I used to make my own backstage passes up to get us in free. You know, I used to take little see. I used to see how the New York guys what they had, so I just said, "Wow, I can make those." So I come back home and take a CD case and so what a cassette case at the time and make us some passes, and we backstage networking. You know what I mean?
Who were some of the local artists you were responsible for getting backstage?
Um, Cole Premier at the time, Cole Crush, Bad Brother Todd, Taquan, he's out of L.A. at the time. DJ, back then was named Eddie B. Easy, now he's DJ Supreme B. He's down in Atlanta, and just a host of other people.
Two carloads of guys traveling to New York during a winter storm. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, I figured I was trying to get the guys some record deals and stuff like that. So I had a lot of friends in New York. So I would get us together. We all get in carloads and we all go up to New York and ride around, try to get record deals. And there's been one time or two where the guys fighting each other at McDonald's, all kind of stuff. You know, it was real funny. It was a fun trip.
What do you remember about the show when Daniel opened up for Kumo D at the State Cinema in Cincy?
What I remember about that is Cold Crush were the dancers, and I was on stage and we were DJing, and actually Daniel just turned it out. Daniel and Cold Crush, they turned it out, and it was off the chain.
Um, you were obviously, you knew the guys pretty well. In fact, you were CP's first manager. Tell us what it was like being their first manager.
Well, it was an experience. You know, I was helping the guys put outfits together. I personally did their first photo shoot. You know, I shot the pictures. Um, it was a good experience. You know, we had a good time. You know, I would actually take the guys out to LA, put them in showcases and stuff like that, trying to get the guys where they need to be.
What made a CP show so exciting, and how would you explain being that close to the guys?
But what made that show real, uh, what it was is the guys were real explosive with dancing. You know, a lot of groups weren't dancing the way they were dancing, and they used to really turn it out. I mean, they were like New Edition, they would dance, but Cole Premier totally danced totally different. Like, you know, they had their own style of dancing, some Cincinnati style dancing, and everywhere we went, they just turned the place out.
How was the group structured? The leader, and how was it? How was it like dealing with 5 different personalities?
That was an experience. That was an experience having 5 different. You have some guys that was hood. You had some guys was suburban. You had some guys was in the medium, in the middle. That was an experience.
What was it structured like? What was the structure like? Who was the leader?
Well, most of all, the leader was T-Rob. T-Rob was more of the brains of the group, and then you would say Chris, and then Shane, and then the other guys were kind of just, you know, they were along, they were putting in input, but mainly T-Rob was the leader of the group, and I would also give some of my advice as well. But for the most part, T-Rob was more the leader of the group.
You stepped down from being CP's manager when you got a gig with MCA Recording Artists. Tell me, what was that situation like being there as Cole Premier got its big break?
Well, well, yeah, I stepped down. I was forced to step down. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, I stepped down. I started DJing for a female named MC Dev from out of San Diego. At the time, she had a major deal with MCA Records, Vicious B. They were signed to a guy named Daryl Sutton. At the time, he's the one that signed Immature. So I signed to them and went on to do what I had to do. The Cole Premier had went on and signed with a guy named James Arsenal, which was close friends with Cassandra Mills, Stephanie Mills' sister, and then their career went from there.
Do you remember those days when CP eventually left Cincinnati and headed to Los Angeles to pursue their dreams? Do you remember what that was like at the time?
Yeah, I remember because, like I said, I was responsible for those trips. I was the one putting those trips together. We drove out to LA. On the way back, we ran out of gas. We had to borrow money from guys. You know, that was the guy that blessed us down in Tennessee. We were flat out broke. We were on E. We had some experiences going back and forth. We caught the Greyhound out there. You know, we had been out there a few times.
You were one of the actual reasons that CP got booked on the Natalie Cole show. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, like I said, I was going in and out of LA. I had Cole Premier doing a lot of showcases at nightclubs in Hollywood. And, it just kind of took off from there. So they had the opportunity to get on Natalie Cole.
Can you tell us how you felt when CP got their deal?
I was happy for him. Definitely, I was happy for him because I knew that they just got a major deal, so I should be having some funds coming in, and I mean that never happened, but I was happy for the guys though. You know I keep it real. That's my guy. We family.
Are you still in contact with Cole Premier? And what's the relationship with the guys today?
We still have a great relationship. We stay in contact with some of the guys that we can. Some guys fell off the map we can't find. You know, hopefully we can find a couple of them. Check a few alleys, stuff like that. But you know, I stay in touch with my guys.
You later went on to promote your own concerts and national artist names. Some of the artists, can you name some of the artists that you've worked with?
Oh, from Master P to Future to Scarface, Too Short. Basically, named from Luke Skywalker to R. Kelly. Well, just a host of most of the artists that's relevant today. You know, like I said, the Ghetto Boys, from Spice One to Sebo to, you know, East Coast, West Coast. You know, Black Rob, Rakim. I know a lot of folks. You know what I'm saying.
You actually came close to working with T.I. the night he came to Cincinnati, which ended up in his friend being murdered. Can you speak about that and maybe set the record straight?
Well, basically, make a long story short, I'm the one who promoted the party. Grand Hustle, they was actually there with my team, and basically, you know, the rumors were that we were jealous and T.I. threw money at us and things like that. That wasn't the case. T.I. had some attitudes about some situations, you know, about the VIP room. He didn't want a lot of people in the VIP, and then that carried over to him making his own VIP area, and some of my guys were drinking with T.I. Then certain guys came over to drink with him, and an argument started out. T.I.'s guys, you know, hit my guy in the head with a case of Heineken bottle, split his head open. That started the fight, and then the fight spilled over into the parking lot and onto the highway. That's basically what happened.
You went to prison. How would you say that changed your life?
I would say it ain't changed it at all. It made me better. How you doing?
What would you say to T-Rob for your final words?
T-Rob, cut me a check, nigga, yeah. No, my final words would be, you know, much love to T-Rob, and I hope he's successful with what he's trying to do. And again, cut me a check as soon as you get paid. Holler at your boy. One time for your mind.
That's all I got.
I love you. One love, T-Rob, though. You know, much love to him. Much love and success.
That's it. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right, no problem.
Okay, we're gonna do some additional footage real quick, and when just telling us some of the entertainers and celebrities that you've worked with, that you've brought to the city on your own.
As far as promoting concerts, I brought Tupac, Suge Knight, and Snoop Dogg, In Too Deep, Spice One, Too Short, Scarface, like I said, from Future to Gucci Mane. I helped break Gucci Mane in the Midwest. I helped break Future in the Midwest. I broke Master P in the Midwest. Just a host of a lot of artists I've been on the road with. Eric B. and Rakim. I've also been on the road with Run DMC. Just a host of a lot of artists that we've all been around. And then the other artists that I promoted again was R. Kelly, Luke Skywalker, Poison Clan, 8 Ball MJG, a close friend of mine. Let's see, who else have I brought? It's been a host of a lot of artists throughout my year. Dave Hollister, I helped break Dave Hollister in this area. Black Rob, that's a close friend of mine. Um, let's see, what else can I remember at the time? So that's about what I can remember at the time. You know, Jeezy. I was the first one to book Jeezy in this area. You know what I'm saying? Gucci Man. Actually, I've had Gucci Man on a couple of records with my artists. We've done a feature. Actually, we premiered our video on 106 and Park. I have an artist named K Rowley, and we did a song called That Boy Cole, and we put Gucci Man on it, and we premiered it on 106 and Park. And our album, independently with no major help, our album was number 28 on the Billboard charts, you know, until we got in trouble with the feds. So, you know, me just coming back home from the penitentiary, so we're gonna, you know, get this back started, you know, and get back out there and see where we go this time with it. So that's about it.
Since I kind of got free will, I'm going to ask, how long and how did you get started DJing? Like, how long you been DJing? Where did you get your first piece of equipment from? You know, things like that.
I started DJing. First, I started out cat rapping. What we call cat rapping is rapping about kind of battle rapping. And me and Daniel started out battle rapping with each other in high school, and everybody used to gather at lunchtime just to hear us talk about each other. You know, he was fat, and I had a big forehead with a Jerry curl, so we both would, you know, talk about each other every day, rap about each other. And then I started. I always played music, so I was always kind of DJ, even from when I was like 13. I used to live like downtown in the neighborhood and put speakers in the window when my mother would leave and play music, knee deep and all that stuff, so the whole neighborhood can, you know, listen to music and stuff like that. Then what I would do is I would walk around the neighborhood looking at finding junk and junk TVs and stuff like that. I would tear the TV up, break the speaker, take the speakers out, take them home and plug them up to my little, you know, system and stuff, so I could have speakers all over the house. So I had a whole lot of used TV speakers, and so just, you know, DJing with that. And then I had a couple raggedy turntables, and then one time a tour came around here, and a situation arrived to me where I saw some 1200 cases, and was nobody around. Actually, it was the LL tour. Sorry, L. You know, I'm from the hood. Seeing some turntables, you know, and that was my first set of 1200 turntables. And only the first time around that time, the only way we ever seen a 1200 turntable was on TV or on video or on tour. You know, we see watching the show or whatever, and I thought God blessed me with them. And then, you know, I was DJing. I really started DJing a lot, and I got really good. And about a year later, I moved to Boston so I could be closer to New York, so I could try to make it in the business, and caught a Greyhound to Boston, and the bus changed over to Port Authority, and they stole the turntables back. So they got them back. Somebody took them from the Greyhound. So I stayed in Boston for a few months, and then I headed back to Cincinnati, because that was my whole purpose of going to Boston, was to try to make it. So then I ended up having to buy my own turntables this time. So that's how that happened.
Okay. All right. I'm that's about it for me. That's all I needed. So
Okay.
again, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. And here we go. All right. So the first question is, how did you and T. Rob meet?
Me and T-Rob, how did me and T-Rob meet? Man, I met T-Rob in 1987 at Mount Healthy High School. It was a talent show auditions for Mount Healthy High School talent show. He was in a separate group at the time called the Fellas, and I was in a group that I had put together at the high school, and we were in different groups. I seen them performing, and I liked what they was doing. And after they had auditioned, I followed them down the hallway, and Tony, the original members of his group was Tony, Tez, DJ, and Ron. What's up, y'all? I seen them performing, and Tony was singing Earth Angel, And then I started singing behind him, and he heard me singing. He walked down the hallway. He put his arm around me that day, and we've been inseparable. Like ever since then, we've been inseparable. Like, so, it was the Mount Healthy Talent Shows back in 1987. 1987 it was. Yeah, that's when I met Tony.
What made CP such a dynamic group?
First of all, what made us dynamic is we were the best from each other groups that we were with, because we were all from different groups at first. We were Tony was with a group called the Fellas. I was the best in my group that I had, and Marcus was with a group. I think his group was called the Fellas too. I think, I'm not sure, and Shane and Chris was in a group called Cold Crush. So we were all in separate groups, and we were the best from those groups. And Tony decided, like he's been doing all these years, to put everybody together, and that's pretty much how CP came together. It was we was the best from the different groups that we were with, and we were the ones in the groups that was like, we were gonna do this for a living. We wanted to do this for a living. We had all been doing music for a long time, and dancing. And Shane and Chris had been dancing and whatnot, and me and Tony had been singing and trying to be in these new edition-esque type groups, and we just decided to come together. Yeah.
What was a typical CP rehearsal like?
It was grueling, because we would run first, and then we would rehearse whatever song we was gonna rehearse. We would Chris and Shane was doing the choreography, so we would learn choreography first. That took a little time. We knew when Marcus got all the choreography, we was ready, and we would just rehearse. We would rehearse real hard together, and then we would rehearse separately. Like one person would do the whole show by themselves, and when everybody could do the whole show by themselves, we knew we was ready. We would, we did all kinds of things. Sometimes one time we even did. We tried to practice blindfolded so we can get spacing and stuff like that. We did all kind of crazy things to get ourselves ready, for the stage. So it was pretty much it was grueling. We ran, practiced, and ran. That was the rehearsal schedule.
Were you guys nervous before a show?
Yeah, everybody was nervous, but Tony in particular was always nervous. Like, no matter how ready we were for a show, Tony was always the most nervous person. He would always be walking around like, hey, you gotta remember, like, hey, you in the middle this time, so you gotta remember to do your part, Marcus, or whoever was doing something, if he would always be looking at our rehearsals and see who would have like little inconsistencies, and sometimes even with Shane and Chris choreographing, they would be so into choreographing, sometimes they would go and they would miss a step or something like that, and Tony would still be able to see it and be like, you gotta make sure you gotta go to the left and not to the right, because Shane and Chris would be so used to looking at us in front, and they would see a move going to the left. But then when they would get in with us, they would go the same direction that they were watching instead of going to the right. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be different little inconsistencies like that Tony would pick up, and it was like that. And see, he would be real nervous about that when it was time to go on. So nervous that he had butterflies. I mean, gas, everything, the whole nine. It's funny. It's funny. Yeah.
Okay, well, the 90s came around. The movie, 5 Heartbeats. Could that have been CP's story?
Wow. That's interesting that you bring up that movie. I think that all the characters in the 5 Heartbeats, we can relate to them on some level or another. If I was to relate Tony's character to one of the characters on there, he would be Leon's character, the one of the lead singers, not Duck's brother. I forget his name. JT. Yeah, he would be. Yeah, Tony would be JT. Tony was the ladies' man in the group. Tony was one of the heartthrobs of CP. When we would go do interviews, or when we would go places, or when we would go and do MTV stuff or whatever, and we would walk out, all the girls would rush like him and Shane. They were the heartthrobs of the group. So Tony would be considered JT if I was to compare him to one of the 5 Heartbeats. Yeah, we all had characters. I could relate all of our characters in the group to one of them characters in the movie. Definitely, yeah.
Give me those relations. Who were you?
I would be choir boy, because I was the one that grew up in the church. Donald did too. We always made Donald like he was like he was Flash, because Donald came in and took like people's like took Chris's place. We always made Donald like he was Flash. Chris would have been like, I guess I would compare Chris to like Duck, but Duck where Duck was a writer, Chris was more like the create. He was the creative, the visual. Him and Shane worked together to create the visual. So I would say that Chris would emulate like Duck. Shane was like Dresser, the choreographer, of course, because Dresser was their choreographer for the time. And of course, Marcus is Eddie Kane all day long. The voice, the voice, the attitude, the stilo, everything. Not a lot of the negative stuff that happened, but the voice and the whole stilo, that was Marcus. It was Eddie Kane. It was, yeah, I can relate. Everybody can relate to one of them cats in the group. 5 heartbeats.
Okay, tell me how you guys got the big break gig.
I don't remember exactly initially how it happened. I just remember Tony coming to us and we having a meeting saying that we had that he wanted us to audition for this TV show. It was called Big Break, and it was in Indianapolis. At the time, Shane was dating Tara Patrick, who's Carmen Electra, and her mother said that she would take us to Indianapolis if we wanted to go up there and do the auditions, because she was used to kind of doing that stuff with Tara. She had been taking Tara all around, and she was doing, because Tara was a dancer, and she had been taking her to all of her competitions and stuff all of her life, so she was like, I'll take you guys to the audition. So we all packed into her truck, and we went up to Indianapolis, and we did the audition in Indianapolis. And a few weeks later, they said, they were gonna let us come to California and do the show. So it pretty much was like that. It was Tara Patrick's mother that got us to the auditions though for Big Break. And once we did the audition in Indianapolis, we got a call to do the show, and that's how the show came about.
When you guys were in LA pursuing your dreams, tell us some of the highs and some of the lows.
Okay, well, the highs obviously was getting the deal, was getting the actual deal, and watching everything that we have been working for kind of coming to fruition. So I would say the highs was the things that we did, kind of like, when we got the deal. We got to do, the movie, and we had been doing the TV shows, and we doing the appearances. We were getting connected and getting to do the things that a lot of people get to do. Warner Brothers was really nice, was really good with us. We got to go to a lot of the industry events, and it was kind of like film for us, just watching everybody and meeting everybody. And we found out that the business was really very small. But I would guess the lows were like before we got there. Some of the shows that we had, like we had an audition for Cheryl Dickerson at CBS. She was the head of CBS's A&R department back then, and I was sick, and a couple of the guys were sick, and we did a really poor performance, and we was like really discouraged, and we wanted to come home, and it was a whole bunch of stuff that was just going on, and then we got another one of the highs too was before we got the deal was actually knowing that we were going to get to perform, so that Warner Brothers would even get to see us. We did Paradise 24 out in California. It was a club called Paradise 24 where if you got to perform there, pretty much industry people were there and they would see you, and I think that's people came to see us there too, and they seen us, and they was like, okay, yeah, they the real deal, and I think that's kind of what pushed the deal forward with Warner Brothers as well. So it was some highs. The highs and lows. The lows is all the struggles that you go through. Us being hungry. I'm trying to find out how we was gonna eat. This and then the other, and just trying to find shows and trying to find things in a city that nobody had ever been to before. And we were out there, we were young, so we were taking the advice and the words of people that, that weren't really our relatives, but we had love for them. We all had love for each other. They took care of us, they really did. But it was some scary times, but at the same time, when we got the deal and everything, that was one of the highs, being on the set with all the celebrities and being able to go to the celebrity basketball events. Tony was with the basketball league with Brian McKnight, so we got to go to like the celebrity basketball games and stuff like that. It was just like, T-Rob been like doing this for a long, long time.
Were your parents supportive?
Initially, Initially, no, because my dad had been singing for a long time, and he had been through the pitfalls of the business, so he figured that that wasn't for me at the time. But when he seen I wasn't gonna take no for an answer, he became supportive, and he became one of our biggest vocal coaches. Some of the stuff we were singing was stuff that he was teaching us. No, that's why I compare myself to choir boy, because my dad was the deacon of our church, so he was just kind of like, he had got to the point in his walk where he was like, I don't think my son should be doing this because I don't think it's gonna work out for him. I don't want him to be bitter and be hurt when it don't work out. It was kind of a deal like that. But when we got the deal and he started seeing stuff happening, like the TV show first and then the movie, and then, we going back and forth to New York and I'm flying everywhere and he's seeing stuff on TV, then it's kind of like, he was kind of like, okay, well, things is working out. And then they became more supportive, after that.
I'm gonna go off the record here, or off the path given. I'm gonna ask this question. You didn't see 7, 8, 9-figure deals.
No.
But do you still treasure the experiences? Because I think a lot of times people, if you don't get the 7, 8, 9-figure deals, you weren't successful. Would you? I guess maybe I'm asking, would you trade your life for any other life? Did you get something out of it that you can take, even though it may not be physically tangible? Do you know what I'm saying?
To correct myself, we did have a 6-figure deal. We had a 6-figure deal, but in this industry, a 6-figure deal is really a low amount. I mean, we were on a subsidiary company. It was Giant Warner Brothers. So our deal was, it was a 6-figure deal. But I treasure everything. All the experiences that I had made me able to translate and to teach what I learned to younger kids, and to be able to be even more effective when I'm in sessions with people who have less knowledge than I do about what they're doing. I'm able to come in and and be twofold. I'm able to come in and see it from both directions, to see it from both sides. I wouldn't trade it for the world, no. And now that I've started my own company, Jazz Jam 7, I'm able to translate everything that I've done throughout the years. I'm learning the business virally now because the business has completely changed. But those experiences give me the discipline to understand that it takes time, and you have to be patient, and you have to work your craft, and it's all about timing. And talent and all that's wonderful, but it's about the timing and the quality of the work that you do. So I'm glad that I experienced those things, because it gave me an integrity that can't be matched.
What's the future for you guys, individually or collectively?
Me and Tony probably gonna be working together until the grave. I mean, to some capacity. Right now, we're in pre-production for his radio show, The Quiet Scoop, The Giant Scoop, and my daughter and my son are hosts for his radio show. They got a radio show segment. They got a segment that they do where they go to different concerts and they interview people, and they're like on the street, and they're doing like interviews, and it's wild. And it's like seeing them doing it and seeing them, me be able to translate all of my experience over to them. It's great. We also, of course, we doing this movie right here. So things are still happening. Shane is still doing his thing. He's got his radio show, and he's got his reality show that's getting ready to come out. He's releasing his. I got a reality show I'm doing. I'm trying to get my sizzle reels done for mine. So we're all still working in the business to some capacity. So be looking out for Jazz Jam 7, really.
Are you recording anymore?
No, I'm not recording anymore myself, but anytime anybody ever needs any help, anytime anybody ever needs someone to come in and do a demo or something like that, they need a singer, they call me. I still come in and do stuff every once in a while. It keeps me sharp, and it keeps me knowledgeable about the new things that they're doing in the studio now, so I can translate that over to my kids and the other artists that's going to be coming in after I get them going, after I get my kids going.
Do you have any local recording studios that you use that you feel comfortable with?
Yes, I got quite a few producers. I got up close and personal studios that I've done stuff in their studio for years and years, and they started from the bottom, and now it's like to see where they are now, it's ridiculous. I'm also working with a dude named Elliot Slaughter. He is super bad. So I mean, I got people that know what they're doing in our corner, and it's like a big support system. I mean, I got Bernard Kiabu. He over at Bolo. I mean, I've been working with him for a while. He's the hip hop side. I mean, he's awesome. I mean, he's the boom pap. I mean, I got Randy Jones. He's at up close and personal. I mean, anything I need from classical to R&B. I mean, anything I need, I got him over there. Elliot Slaughter, he's jazz all day long. So I mean, his studio is off the hook. I mean, we got a lot of support here in Cincinnati. We sure do.
I'm pretty sure that's. I mean, like I said, I kind of went off the path a little bit. But what would be your remarks to Tony, being inside jokes, or because I know you got a billion of them. But I mean,
I can start and just keep going. But I'll just say, when this premieres, Tony, don't be nervous. It's gonna be okay. When you have to walk into the movie theater and see all the people watching it at the premiere, don't be nervous. Every time we go and do promotions for this, man, he's in the back room, he's in the break room, he's doing push-ups, he's jumping around, and he is just a nervous wreck, man. I'm just saying, Tony, just relax. Everything's gonna be okay. It's your time.
all right, that's all I needed. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Talk about Tony.
Okay, when me and Tony, when we met, we was like a dancing group. It wasn't no dancing group. We was like the Kango Boys. Okay, I was like the general. Tony was like the captain. It was a whole lot of captains, you know what I'm saying. But Tony was the main captain. I was the general because I was the oldest of them. I had my own apartment, and you know I'm the oldest. I had my own apartment and everything. We used to always go over my house and chill, and every Friday we go over to the house parties. It was me and another guy named Tony Cole. We used to go party and dance and everything. Tony Robinson, he used to always be up against the wall and not want to dance when the music came on. Me and Tony Cole, Tony Cole, we used to always jam. Come on, Tony Robinson, come on, get off the wall, man. The girls ain't gonna like that. I ain't know he had that kind of talent, dancing or nothing. He always used to act like he's scared, you know. We go back that far. I ain't know he had that kind of talent. And then one day, we growed up, you know. One day, he asked me to come see him perform. I said, perform. So we went, so I came. He was on stage. I didn't know he knew how to get on stage. And he started dancing and performing out, and he shocked me. I didn't know he knew how to dance. And the stage, they was dancing, and the stage opened up a little bit. And he had me so happy to see him performing like that. I got up there, I pushed the stage back together so they wouldn't fall off the stage, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, whoa, they became a dancing group. It wasn't me though, it was him, and like, I think it was 3 more guys with him dancing. Whoa, that's how I knew Tom, man. We grew up together.
Okay, so y'all go back, like way back. So tell me,
Way back.
what was Tony like as a child?
He was a square. He was a square, man. He didn't ride the bikes. He wanted to walk all the time and everything. But I had a bike, sharp. My bike was sharp. You know, Tony Cole bike was sharp. I wanted to ride my bike all the time. Tony, he wanted to walk and everything. Notice my walking ain't good. I don't like to walk. I like to show my bike off, dress my bike up. But I want to be with Tom, because he was a square. So I wanted to walk around with Tom. So that's what we did. Walked around in the hood and everything, talked to everybody, met everybody. Like I said, we was the Kango boys. Everybody wanted to be with us. So that's what we did. Just walked around, had fun, played football everywhere with everybody. You know, then the police, you know, they said we was a gang. We wasn't no gang. We was a dancing group. Party, that's all we did. I wasn't no dancing group. We just went to the parties and danced and got the girls. You know, that's all. That's all we did.
What school? What school did you guys go to?
I went to Robert A. Taft. When I was in junior high, I went to Robert A. Taft. I don't know what school Tony and them went to. It was, go back that far. I don't know what school they went to, but they went to school though, I'm sure. Tony's grandmother Tony's grandmother made him go to school, I'm sure. He went to school and graduated, I'm sure.
Okay.
You know.
When you think back, I mean, obviously he's been successful in the industry.
Right.
And when you think back, as a child, I like to kind of hit him on his kid. Has he always been that one that you knew he was destined, or were you surprised when success came
I
about?
was surprised when the success came out. Like I said, when I seen him perform on that stage, I was surprised. I was shocked that he could move like that, that he had that type of talent, because he always was in the house parties up against the wall. I was the one begging him to come out there and dance, because Tony got them 2 front teeth. His teeth is, I mean, they clean, they white. And when we was little, we all ate candy and had raggedy teeth and not a smile. But Tony, he always the girls used to always like him, but he was a square, he up against the wall. But if he came out on the floor and had that talent, boy, they would have liked it, him. They would have liked it, Tony. But, like I said, he was always quiet. The quiet went out the group. But now, his success, it still got me shocked. I'm still shocked. Wow. He got it going on. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Tell us more about Tony. Tell me, when did you realize he had music talent besides just dancing? He could sing, or was he always? I mean, I knew you say he was a rather shy individual,
Right.
and so looking back now that you see where he's gone, would you say he was shy, or was he just reserved, just kind of analyzing it before he unleashed all of this onto the world? How would you portray it?
Looking back, I'm going to say he was shy. He was shy. He was holding it all in, I guess. If that's what you want to say. That's what I'm going to say. He was holding it all in. He was shy. Because I didn't know. Didn't nobody know? I don't think so. I don't think so. I didn't know. Didn't nobody in the group knew. Because Tony, he didn't show no kind of talent. He didn't show nothing. He didn't show nothing at all. I didn't know he had no gas in him. I didn't know. Now what I see, whoa, Tony got it going on.
So were you like an older brother to him?
Me and Tony was that close, like a brother. You're right, I was like an older brother to him. And I couldn't see why he was always quiet. Every time he came up my house, Tony, say something. What you want to do today? That's how he was. What you want to do today, man? Come on. Let's go play some football. We'll go play football. He didn't even play football right. He couldn't catch the ball. And I guess he was holding it back. damn, Tony, he bigger than me now. I mean, taller than me. Why? I guess I stopped growing. He bigger than me now, but like I said, I was the oldest one. But he bigger now. I wish I had the kind of type of talent he got now. I can't dance no more or whatever. I ain't got it like he got it.
I see you rocking your Bengals gear. Are you a fan of the Bengals?
Right. That's my team. Since back then. That's been my team.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been in Cincinnati all my life. All my life. That's my team. So
Okay.
even though they win or lose, they losers or whatever, but they still my team. They gonna win. Gonna win.
Would you say Tony was destined for this industry? Or do you think he built it?
Whatever he was holding back, he built something out of it. I don't know if he was desperate or whatever, but whatever he was holding back, he came up with it. He must have built it. Yeah, he built it.
Do you feel like you influenced that? That you maybe gave him some of, like as a shy kid, sometimes we look to our friends, our family members, and we want to emulate them so bad, but we don't know how to do it. Do you think maybe you encouraged or influenced the what came about to be, as you and I would now know, T-Rob?
Well, I ain't gonna say it like that, but if you want to say going to the house parties and putting on clean clothes, you know what I'm saying, to show out in, he did that with us. If I influenced that much, yes, I did. But I don't take no type of helping him get his success.
No credit for it.
Yeah, I don't take no kind of credit for it or nothing. You know, he did this all on his own. I didn't know he knew how to do this.
No, I'm gonna disagree with that one. I'm gonna say, as a human, we are all the sums and the products of our experiences. He wouldn't be who he is, if he hadn't been who he was. And you were there when he was developing him. So you influenced him. You may not want to take credit for it, but you have the right. Because
if I knew he had that type of talent, I'd have had something to do with it. Man, I'd have had something to do with it, because I'd have asked him to teach me how to do it, how to dance and everything, how to make myself successful. That's what I'd have did. To be on his team, because we always was a team. Like I said, we was the Kango Boys. I don't know what it'd have been then. Now, whatever type of name he got, it would have been that name. He would have been the boss, because I don't know nothing about this type of success, If I had anything to do with it, that's what I'd have done.
Okay. Well, that's all I needed. I just needed to get your perspective. I appreciate your time and your efforts and your information. Okay, last question. Just look into the camera or look at me, however you want to do it, and give me your big shout out to Tone.
Well, Tom, you did it. You came up. And I didn't know you knew how to do it, but you did it. You did it, man. And I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Whatever you do. Don't forget me. Don't forget me, man.
Thank you very much.
To you, man. Thumbs up to you. Go ahead and do it.
Thank you, sir. I so appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. Perfect. Okay, we are going. All right, so tell me, how did you meet T-Rob?
How did I meet T-Rob? I used to hear about T-Rob a lot, like just going around seeing him, like and hearing about him, like, but I didn't really know who he was. So I was in school one day, high school, was at Taft, Robert A. Taft, senator, graduated '01. But he come through, and they said like it's some guy like he looking for some talent. It almost made it seem like it was gonna be a competition between our school and other schools. Like I'm like I got bars. Like what's up? Like so it's the high school superstars. That's how I met T-Rob. So during the audition, showed him what I got. Like had some tracks, and he was like, "Yeah, you'll go." So he chose me from Taft High School. So.
Was he easy to work with?
Was T-Rob easy to work with? T-Rob, he was easy to work with, but I liked the energy that he brought. Like I was young, high school, and he was about that perfection. He was out there, like, so I'm out there, I'm in the booth, he's sitting out there, now I need you to put some into it, like, you know what I'm saying, like, do that again, but I need you to put a little more emphasis on this, emphasis on that, like, so it was good to listen to and learn from, like, to work with him was cool.
Did he seem sincere when he was working with the youth?
Did T-Rob seem sincere working with the youth? Very, very sincere. Like this guy, like he just had an energy about him, you felt safe, you felt protected, you felt like you were gonna learn something, and you felt like, something like I ain't about to do nothing stupid, like, cause I know he gonna correct me too.
Tell me about the high school superstars and who created it.
The high school superstars and who created it. T-Rob. Him coming in was like, I guess he had an idea, something that he wanted to do with the youth, which I think now, as an adult, was like one of the greatest investments that you can ever do, ever create, just this whole idea to do it. So it gave me an opportunity, like, to remind me, like, man, I got a voice, that I can express what I'm feeling, I can express what I'm going through, like, and somebody actually is going to listen to me. And not only that, a black man. I don't see much of that.
Okay, you killing me because because you answered like 4 or 5 questions, right? But that's cool. That's cool. That's cool because
Yeah, run them back.
Right. Because like the next question was, how did the project or how has this project helped you with today? You kind of already answered, but give it to me again.
How does project help me today? This really showed me that I had absolutely no limitations. That the only thing that can stop me would be myself. That I did have a voice, like growing up in the projects, like I was able to see what was going on, but just because I seen it, I grew up around it, I didn't have to be affected by it. I can just observe it, like, this is what I want to do, this is not what I'm going to do. Like, so to see it more as a learning experience, as something I had to apply to my life to say I'm gonna be that, or to take heed to it and learn from it. Like, I don't have to go that route because I see somebody else doing it, what's working, what's not working. And T-Rob was able to show like love at the end of the day. Love and giving back to the community was really worth the efforts.
How often do you speak to T-Rob?
I speak to T-Rob periodically. Throughout the years, probably every couple of months or something. I know he's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. I'm grown. I got a family. I'm working. And definitely call in to check in. What's up? Let me check your pulse. How you doing, man? You need me for anything? You okay? Some real talk. And then he always got some words of encouragement. Some lessons. If it was a powerful quote or something, and we converse on that level. Like, real positive guy. Love this guy.
What's next for Will?
What's next for Will? Working with T-Rob, he pretty much activated a lot of things about myself that I didn't know, especially towards entertainment. really just giving me that go-getter like attitude, like settle. You always have what you settle for, and I'm like, I'm not gonna settle for less. So with that in mind, like in T-Rod, watching him and just seeing him really made me do research on him. I didn't know this guy was singing and was in a group and was doing all this type of work like it. So it was phenomenal, like to see that I can live up to somebody or actually see another black man or a black male figure doing something positive and giving back to community. So next for me, like I've been working on my music, but I like to stay behind the curtains. I enjoy writing. This actually made me go to school for music, vocal major, studying computer science, metaphysics, and behavior neuroscience. It made me more interested in people and in kids, like so I can better learn how to deal with people and express my feelings and getting into the comedy thing. So now I'm doing stand-up comedy, but how I can connect my comedy with real life situations, like even though it's bad, but we can still laugh about it and still get through it.
Final words for T-Rod. Look at you.
Final words for T-Rods. Hey, I love you, bro, right? But I want you to tell everybody about when you touched me where I peed at. He touched me where I peed at. Told me don't tell nobody. He said nobody. And got me a Dixie cup from an old lady house. No, I was just playing, man. Y'all know I'm a comedian, so I had to throw that in there. Final words for T-Rod, man. Look, I love you, bruh. Keep up what you're doing. I was young in high school. If you can say you helped somebody, anybody, one person, it can be me, brother. I appreciate you. You showed me how to love. You showed me how to forgive. You showed me how to go back and give to the community. You showed me how to be a man, like how to be a family man, take care of my family, and still how to balance that business and family life. So just continue to do what you're doing. We love you, man. I love you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everything that you offered.
Same question. How did you meet Tony Robinson?
I met Tony Robinson in the early 90s. He was auditioning a 5-member group, and a couple of guys chased me down in the Florence Mall, Corey, Sam, and Mike Green, and said they wanted me to come to an audition. So I did, and I was the last member chosen. The girls in the group are Liz, Kendra, Laura, and Aubrey, so what's up? But that's how I met Tony, auditioning for his 5-member group, which it was called First Collection.
Was First Collection rehearsals anything like CP rehearsals?
Most definitely. They weren't going to have a group and put their name on it and not represent. So that's definitely what they were looking for. 5 girls that could fit that mold, a female CP. Cold premiere.
Do you have any interesting stories that you can tell about Tony that that people would laugh at or be interested in hearing?
Yeah, me and Tony, we both are like in love with Ralph Tresvant, so we call ourselves the Ralphinites. So that's what we have in common outside of just our music interests and our dancing, and then other members in the group. But Tony's a jokester, but he's a very, very good businessman. So we've had a lot of fun together. He used to get us into like different hotels, and we would never know, but we would have like practice, and so we'd be doing really good entertaining all the older people that were there, and then we would enjoy like the hot tub and the sauna, and then we'd always be getting kicked out, wondering why. So it was always fun. We never knew he was sneaking us into these places, so we had a great time at the Comfort Inn.
What's next for you, and how is Tony involved in that?
Well, we got a lot of things going on. Tony has always been involved in everything that we do. We always are communicating back and forth. But I'm in managing cosmetology school. I'm getting ready to graduate with my daughter, so we have some up and coming things that we're trying to do. But also, I'm managing a group called JS2, which happens to be our 2 older children. My husband was in the group called Premier, James Watson, and we have 7 children, but 2 of them are up and coming. So look forward for their EP. It's going to be called Septology. So we hope that you like it. We know that Maxwell or Mike Well, I think that's what his name is. He liked J's on My Feet so good he took it. So, you know, those are some of the things and projects that were coming, along with some writings and some publishings that we've done for some reality shows. So check us out.